Building advocates into your life before you ever need them. Creating advocacy groups as you grow older. Hello, y'all. I'm Diana Brianne. So I talked in another video about this story about a lady who ended up in the hospital. And long story short, she ended up in a nursing home, and it kind of went from there. Things kind of snowballed on her. And I also was watching a YouTube video by a lady who ended up in the hospital. She had had a fall. She ended up in the hospital, and she didn't have any relatives or anyone around because she was on vacation by herself. And she ended up in this hospital, so she didn't have anyone to advocate for her. Now, she wasn't all that old. She was in her early 60s when that happened. And so I got to really thinking about the importance of advocacy. Now, I've talked quite a bit about advocates and having an advocate in place in other videos. So all you'd have to do is type in my name and type in advocates, and you'll probably come up with other videos similar to what I'm talking about. The importance of having an advocate at any age in your life. You know, my son recently broke his collarbone. Fortunately, he's on the mend. He's doing really good. He's still in a sling, but he's doing really good. And, you know, I've been his advocate. My husband's been his advocate. He's very fortunate to have us as advocates because we're really great advocates. And even though we're parents, we're also an advocate. And, you know, my husband, when he took sick with his cancer diagnosis, I was a great advocate for him. Because when you're sick or vulnerable, you often, no matter how great of an advocate you are, you can often not be your own best advocate, okay? Because people sense that you're vulnerable, you're in a vulnerable position. Now, granted, most professionals will be very respectful regardless, whether you have an advocate or not, but some will not be. And often, we get far better treatment when we have someone who's present with us in almost any kind of situation, not just in a sickness type of situation, but in almost any kind of vulnerable situation that we could be put in. When we have someone else with us, even if it's our old Aunt Clara who doesn't say anything, at least there's another person in the room listening beyond just us. And so people tend to give better, more respect and often better care when there's another person present. Now, if you have a really great advocate, one that knows how to ask questions, knows what to ask, has a good presence when they're in the room, a strong positive presence, a professional type presence, you're even so much better off. Just having someone in the room can make all the difference. And yet when you have a great advocate, someone who will speak up for you, maybe when you're in a vulnerable position or is taking notes or seeing what you may not see, that puts you in a much stronger, better position, whether it's a health issue or any other kind of issue. And so in regards to my family, my young adult kids have us as advocates. And my husband and I have each other as advocates. And, you know, and what I'm in the process of doing is building a group of friendships that are each other's advocates. Maybe 5 to 10 different friendships that I know that I could call on them in almost any kind of situation, and they would be there. Even if they didn't, you know, understand the situation, their presence would give me the support that I would need. Likewise, I would be there for them. And if we build a big enough, strong enough group, what I call the advocacy group, that we're there for each other, we're kind of a network, that there's always someone who can be there for that person during a difficult and challenging time to kind of, you know, speak for them or be there for them, that can be an amazing thing. And I think building your advocacy support before you ever need an advocate in your life, and hopefully you never do, And yet, if you do, you have people that you can call on, more than one. Because what happens if that one advocate is not there, or they're out of town, or they're sick, or something like that, or they're not available? Then you have other people that you can call on as well. So I think building a group of people that will be there for you, that will advocate for you, meaning they have your own best interests at heart. They're taking notes, they're asking questions, their presence is there, so they're hearing whatever other people are saying. And often the level of care, the level of treatment, the level of respect will be so much greater than if you don't have someone. You know, it's amazing. A lot of people don't have anyone that they can really call on. So they're very welcoming about being an advocate for someone else and letting someone else be an advocate for them. Now, I'm not talking about, giving a power of attorney to someone or anything like that. I'm just talking about being there, a presence, someone there in the room, or someone that we can call upon to say, hey, I need some support here. Can you be here for me as emotional backup or as emotional support? And that's kind of what I'm really talking about, because often people don't have that, and they wait till a crisis happens in their life, and then they're kind of like, who do I call? What do I do? When I was watching this YouTube video about this lady who fell down the steps, and she was on vacation, and she had no one that could be there, family-wise or otherwise, for her, she was really kind of at a disadvantage, because she was talking about the level of care was not exactly there the way it should have been, at least initially. And so we can't always be our own best advocate, no matter how great of an advocate we are for other people. Or even under normal circumstances, we can advocate for ourselves. And yet when we're in a vulnerable position, often we are not our own best advocate, no matter how great we are, because other people can sense that we're in a vulnerable position. Do you see what I'm saying? So build your advocate group before you ever need one. From my house to yours, may God bless you. I hope you like, share, subscribe, and I hope to talk to you soon again. Bye-bye.